Welcome, Commissioners, to the beauty that is Sonoma County and the Sonoma Coast. Thank you for hearing this matter. I'm C. Higgins with Sonoma Coast Surfrider. We've been engaged in this proposal for many years, and we were a stakeholder in the fee proposal working group. We ask that you support staff's recommendation of denial at this time because adequate facts have not been presented to show that there will not be disproportionate public access impacts or that coastal resources will not be negatively affected by this proposal. I'd like to give my reasons why, but before doing that, I really want to thank the Commission for expressing over the past several months increased sensitivity to issues of social justice, and your statements have a great deal of relevance here. Commissioner Vargas, I'm sorry, I can't see this and you at the same time. I know you're here, or he was here. Commissioner Vargas, when voting recently against the parking prohibitions in Rancho Palos Verdes, which was a unanimous Commission decision, you spoke of fostering conservation and stewardship in our future generations. And that really spoke to me, because for the majority of my life, I've worked with youth from disadvantaged, urban, at-risk communities and taught them about ocean impacts and preservation. But visits to the classroom and community centers never match the effectiveness of bringing them out to the coast. There, they see firsthand the beauty of the coast and the impacts to it. It's after those beach cleanup events that I hear them say, I don't want to buy plastic bottles anymore. I'm going to go grocery shopping with my family and ask them to buy more fresh food and less packaged food, or the best one, I want to share with my community what I have learned and come back to the beach to do more cleanups with my family and friends. The problem is, Commissioners, is that most of their families could no longer afford to do so, or even worse, they'd be forced to more dangerous beaches if these fees were implemented. Public access and public involvement exist mutually. You can't impact one negatively and not impact the other. And I know DPR claims their special passes will balance these impacts, and you've heard a lot today about how they're not adequate. That $125 pass has no payment plan. The Golden Poppy, you can only use it, or you can't use it in summer and holidays. And I'm a little skeptical about the local pass because we haven't gotten specifics, and these passes have historically been discontinued shortly after offering them. The Golden Bear Pass, the low-income pass, I've got it here. I think it's the next one, honey. There we go. But here it is here. Whoop, there it goes. It's only available in English, and if you can get through it, you have to qualify by earning less than $11,000 a year. You need to submit a photo ID, a sign-off from your caseworker, a tax return for you or your spouse, and every time you use the pass, you have to have a photo ID too. It's complex, it's discriminatory, it's worse than voter ID laws. And even if you could navigate the process, anyone earning more than poverty level is not eligible for discounted pass. The actual annual income level of Sonoma Coast State Beach users is only $30,000 and not 75 like DPR states, and there's a significant portion of the population that falls between qualifying for that special pass and those having enough disposable income to pay to access the coast. That single bedroom house there, that little thing, 600 square foot house, that rents for $1,800 a month in Sonoma County. And homes for families just go up from there. The coast is the only affordable recreation, and the spare money that families have is used to pay for the car and the gas to get to the coast. I'd like to dispel some myths too. It is not possible to walk from a free state park into a feed county park unless you could traverse that boat channel or walk miles along a steep coastal highway with your coolers and kids in tow. It's not possible, it doesn't occur. We don't have wholesale free access, as DPR claims. We are charged at 7 locations already. Now, DPR wants to add 8 undeveloped lots to the 7 locations where they already charge. This fee proposal covers 55 miles of coast in one sweeping application. This is not a reduced proposal. And I'm going to put that in perspective, maybe from an example I think you can understand. Khosla, he wants $30 million for that 2,500 square foot easement when he paid $32 million for 89 acres surrounding it. If he reduced his price to $27 million, I don't think you'd all be jumping up and down and saying, wow, what a bargain. It's all about starting points here. Reduced is relative. The stakeholder process of which we were a part of, and despite the best efforts of the local staff, it was flawed. Representatives from groups who would be most disproportionately impacted, such as the tribal, Latino, and low-income groups, were not invited. In fact, they were deliberately excluded, even though all the other stakeholders advocated that they be invited. We also wanted decision makers from Sacramento there. We requested that for 6 months. They never showed. And when they finally did, at the 6-day noticed public workshop, the first thing they did was disallow public comment. What I really hope I don't hear on the dais today is some version of, we pay in Southern California, you should too. Well, yes, you do in your developed lots, and yes, we do in our developed lots. And I really hope, as you afford those fees, that you are thinking about all the people that cannot and how much coastal access for disadvantaged users is impacted. Regardless of that 11th hour submittal by parks on monitoring reports from OC, which there was not adequate time to review for veracity, they claim fees increase access. So I ask, for whom and who is being locked out? They have no identification of user groups in their reports. The high and pervasive fees that exist are privatization of beaches for those who can afford it. Please, commissioners, support the Coastal Act and parks. Advocate for statewide legislation to fund parks. Work to remove and lower fees, not promote more fees. There shouldn't be comparisons with Southern California anyways. All those locations studied had existing fees, had amenities, had mass transit available, had walker biking opportunities, or were adjacent to urban areas. None of that applies here. A parking fee is a beach access fee. You know, the more DPR submits, the more circular and contradictory their position becomes. Fees are promoted as not impacting public access, while simultaneously being used to limit public access. Fees are utilized to protect coastal resources. Oh, no, wait, there are no sensitive resources that need to be protected. Or wait, even better, these resources are already impacted, so what's the problem with impacting them some more? People don't utilize unsafe parking, so no chance of impacts. People already utilize unsafe and environmental damaging roadside alternatives. Which one is it? And my favorite, and I think we can all agree how much things have changed in the last 25 years, DPR wants to use the 1991 approval, which applied to a completely different set of facts and didn't account for the car dependency of the Sonoma Coast, to justify that there should be current approval. But then they continually cite the 1994 Surfrider case. And that case said you have to have specific facts presented. There have been no details presented on this proposed program, not of its potential impacts, no identification of sensitive coastal resources, and the alternatives or mitigations to avoid such impacts. Those have not been presented to a level that would allow consideration of approval. In closing, Commissioner Turnbull Sanders, you said on the dais that parking decisions had a precedential effect. Inch by inch, there is more pressure to restrict access. Well, here it's going to be mile by mile. Don't set a precedent, and a negative one at that, which opens up undeveloped lots on the entire California coast to fees without the facts present to support that decision. You also said people have to get used to sharing the coast because it belongs to everybody, and you were right. But I want to, and Sonoma County wants to, and you're welcome to stand up with me as I say this. Sonoma County wants to do more than get used to it. It's not enough. We want to support it. We want to make sure it happens. That is our history here in Sonoma County, a long history of protecting and promoting public access. Don't prevent us from continuing our legacy. Don't base this precedential decision on inadequate facts. We can't just give lip service to equity access. We have to vote to protect it and support staff's recommendation to deny this proposal.
Thank you.
Thank you.